Hello?
Hello there.
Hello. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. You're very welcome aboard, man. It's sunny outside and, you know, a good reason to stay inside. Hope you're keeping well. We're here today. We're going to take the old Starship. This is out tomorrow, friends. Oh, yes. So we're going to take it out for a quick blast here today. Hope you're all doing terribly well. I had a busy morning. Right? You know, I mean, I've been flat out. Why is my hair sticking up in the back? Do you ever get... Look, headphone hair, look. It's a real thing, lads, look. Jeez, look. That's terrible sad now. Right. We don't know why it is, but it is. Anyway. Busy this morning, right? Have our video ready for our stream for tonight. We've got a busy one tonight for our Flight Sim News. The news, right. Brian from Say Intentions will be joining us. Jonks from Got Friends will be joining us, and we're checking out a brand new Alpha Jet just released into the sim as well, so it's flat out now, right? It's going to be busy. And there's also other bits and pieces, and there's actually an add-on. I'm going to try it out today. I literally just got it. Right, Gibbo was like, Murph, will you check this thing out and tell us all about it? So you get to see it now today, right? So on the ground here at Bilbao in Spain, and we're going to head across the northern coast to A Coruña. So we're on all sorts of stuff, multiplayer, and we'll get Say Intentions and Join FS up and running as well for anyone who'd like to join in for a afternoon flight. Brilliant, right? But yeah, I'm waiting on the skip to be collected. Then at around 3 o'clock bells, I need to go off and do official things. And you know, I'll be busy for a while. No sign of me gadget arriving in the post. So, alas, our 5090 is still sitting down here, but my leg is just like, shh. Soon, friend. You know, soon, right? But until then, it lives there, you know. I'm probably going to do that on Friday. And right, and we'll see how the crack is going to be then. But yeah, the Starship, very, very close to release. This is an updated version than what we had a last look at when Nick was here. So yeah, let's check it out. I'm looking forward to it. So any questions when it comes to Microsoft Flight Simulator? As I said, these streams are ideal if you guys are stuck anywhere. Maybe you're having issues or problems or things aren't loading. Maybe you just want to know how to do a thing. Well, do be sure to ask in the chat. You know, we're a very laid back, kind of an easygoing group of folks. And yeah, by all means, jump on in. So yeah, it's a quick flight over to A Coruña. I don't have it on live time. I brought it back to morning time, you know, because it looks lovely. And then we'll see what the crack is. This aircraft, as I say, it's going to release tomorrow. It's just going to be a wow moment in Flight Sim. This has been done before. A2A, FS Reborn, you know, the Just Flight stuff, IndyBuild stuff. They're just this sort of aircraft that you go, yeah, man. Also, my clock keeps resetting. How do we reset this now? Why does that keep turning off? What time is it now, look? It is 11:41. And now we fix this. There's 11, is. And then we'll change this little ticket over here to 41. The things you have to do, lads, that's my clock. I need to see what's happening. Do you know what I mean? It'll be 42 now by the time we get up there. It is, look. 11:42. Right. Now, don't turn off. Stupid thing. But anyway, who's here in the chat? Look, who came in this morning? Let me see. Crafty Tiger's top of the morning to you. Tima is here. Happy Wednesday. Mac Vision, hope you're well, buddy. The Impossible Face. I had planned on having a lie-in till lunchtime, but I can't say no to Starship action. Yes. Blinky, good morning. Gibbo Ireland is here. Internet outage in the area, stopping me work. Means I get to be here. Yes, that's the story. And also, remember to plug it back in when we're finished. I mean, look, it turned off again. Hang on, we're having a moment. My little charger gadget. Right, well, that's about as useful now as a fart in a spacesuit. Hang on. Will you go up? Will you charge there? Right now. It says it's charging. Right now. Oh look, that doesn't charge them. It needs the mag lock thingy to charge them. You sit there now and just, you know, shh, stay now. Let's see what happens. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the house. Good to see you, man. Malky Mac is here. I'm lurking while American trucking. Nice. Yeah, we did a lovely drive last night. We went into Utah. This is lovely. Balut is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. This is tunage, Murphy. Do you know what I mean? Ah, yes. Now we're talking. All is well in the realm. APU Inspector, 190 streams in a row. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. Hope you're well. Jan Moorcamp is here. Good to see you. Eamon, 1973. It won't be long until us mere mortals have our hands on the Starship. Yes, very soon indeed. Crafty Tigers, 3 in a row. Thank you very much, dude. PH Roy, a very good afternoon to you. Hope you're well, Roy. Sir Camsalot, AJH, Madude from Ongoshlon Nua. How is she cutting? Cardiac Splashes here. Ian Fisher, top of the morning. Hope you're well, Ian. Give us, says Murph. Got a small tip to bring the detail back into the sim that's worth looking at. Under graphics, change the exposure compensation to between -7 and -1. The whites aren't as fake and bright anymore. Oh jeez, come on Kippo, we'll try that now in a second. A bang me toe, says it. Oh wait, no I did. Good to see you, Zit. Bell Bro is here, good to see you. Hope all is well. Cy Murray's in the chat, welcome in Cy. How is she cutting, man? Eamon says, great tip. Yeah, I need to have a look at this. How'd you get rid of the ginger hair on the stream? Start off, at mass for impure thoughts, right? Jesus. Where are we at now? A fart in a spacesuit, right? I was watching the carnage. Brilliant. Thank you for following Phoenix Rise. You're very welcome aboard. The Limbix is here. Mirror. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. She's cutting now straight down the middle, which is fantastic, right? Now, let me see. Mr. Who can moo? Thinks a fart in a wetsuit is worse. Right? Could be worse, could be a dry suit, and a dry suit keeps it dry in the inside, doesn't it? Wait. Yeah, either are bad. But anyway, I hope you're all keeping terribly well this morning, and we'll get to some flying here now in a moment. Tiger Freed, good morning. Daniel Meyer is here. Fly with Craig. Good to see you, Craig. How's she cutting, man? Are you not supposed to be like in work or something, no? Maybe you are. Maybe you're on your lunch break. Or maybe you're on the DOS, But yeah, as I said, productive enough morning, just doing bits and bobs with our video for tonight. The Alpha Jet, you might be interested in it. And the stuff from Got Friends. Oh. And Brian said there was an announcement to be made for Say Intentions. It's all exciting. It's all happening now. And of course, we have all our regular news and updates for our beloved flight simulators. Not just with Microsoft Flight Sim, but of course, we have news there with DCS and with X-Plane as well. So that's all coming up a little bit later on. Right. So what we're going to do, friends, we're going to get into this machine. That light's working again. Isn't it brilliant, right? And I want to show you a little add-on thingamajig that I've just picked up, right? So we'll press one of these. We'll come on over to here now, right? And that music will just fade into the background in a moment or two, It's amazing what you can do with technology. I can bring it back, look. Right. Brilliant. But anyway, let's have a now look to see what it is we're going to be doing. Peter, very good morning to you. Hope you're well. So yes, we're on the ground here at Bilbao, and we're going to ramble across. So Navigraph, how's she going? We're going to hide that. And let me see, Bilbao all the way across over to LECO, right? So we can probably plan a bit of a flight with this. We'll have a look at different kind of VOR stations if there are any. Let me see, if we go into this, that'll do. Show nav map layers. Well, what do we want to show? NDBs, terminal nav aids, waypoints, airways. Don't need those. So we have a couple of... we do. We have some options here when it comes to some VOR stations and all the jazz. So let me see. LECO, isn't it? So flights, new flight, right? And we're going to start off here. So it's LEBB and we're going up to LECO. Straight across there now. High G for the second. 239 nautical miles, friends. We're going to absolutely blast it. Captain Sickbag is here, watching while cooking. What are you cooking? Is it nice? Will it be nice is the question. But yeah, the aircraft, we'll check out the aircraft and all that jazz here now. Before we get started, Give us says go in and do a thing, look. So settings, under graphics, I suppose. Exposure compensation. We'll go -1 for the crack, will we? Right. Oh, look at that. It does make a huge difference already, look. Jesus, look. Man, Gibbo. Hello, the man is a legend. Yeah, we'll check this one out here now in a moment. Navigraph team, you're very welcome in. You're only following now. Good to see us, lads. Look, you called the name and they've appeared. Brilliant. Look at the state of this. Look, brilliant. Right. Now that should live up there. Why is that moving off my screen? Hang on, we'll press some buttons. and whoosh, yeah, she's working now. Although that should be over here a slight little bit. Right, anyway, yes, Nevergraph team, you're very welcome aboard. Good to see you. Recognise the app. Yeah, that looks terribly familiar. So what we're going to do here, it's kind of point to point, but we can pick up some of the nav aids along the way. Asturias is one of them. That's a VOR. So we got another one up here, look. We have the Santander VOR. So we can actually fly this gadget by a couple of VORs today. And with this aircraft, because it is a terribly, terribly beautiful aircraft, we have an absolute ton of, where is this now? I'm trying to get my cameras right. We have a ton of navigational options with this airplane, which is going to be absolutely incredible to do. So hang on, we just calm everything down here so the camera isn't like going a million miles an hour, you know what I mean? So if you guys haven't seen this aircraft yet, as I said, it's due to release tomorrow, and it's from Black Square. Nick was on the stream there last week. We were chatting about it, and definitely going to be one of the loudest general aviation aircraft releases for some time, right? Because, friends, the Starship aircraft, Beechcraft made these, and they were the first all-composite kind of business aircraft. Twin propeller, the reliable Pratt & Whitney PT6, the very same engine that you'd find on the likes of your TBM or even on the Piston Dukes, but these are extremely powerful, extremely powerful. So it's apart from the sheer, you know, thrust and torque we get out of these gadgets, the aircraft itself, the aerodynamics of this canard design wing, right? And I remember chatting to Nick, it's like, why haven't we seen many more of these designs? Well, it's kind of funny, right? I mean, think all the way back, lads. The Wright Flyer, right? Invented by the Irish. No, it wasn't. It was invented by the Irish, but it wasn't really. The Wright Flyer was also a canard design. It was the very same. I mean, if you were to compare photographs, granted, this is very space agey because you've aerodynamics gone in left, right, and center, but it's the same sort of principle, you see? And you haven't really seen these sort of aircraft, you know, take shape, if you like, until around the 1980s. And this is where Beechcraft and, you know, their designer, Kurt, was it Kurt? I forget his name. It's written in the plane. Just absolutely incredible design and most unusual. Folks don't really know how to feel when they're looking at it. They're thinking, should I be liking this or not? There are certainly many beautiful angles of this aircraft that you're saying to yourself, ooh, right? Beautiful. And yeah, again, look at the attention to detail on this plane. You know, Nick was saying 30,000 lines of code, and that was just for the avionics. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. So this is the machine that we're going to be taking for an owl blast. Bert, was it? Thank you, Jeep. This is the machine we're going to take for a blast here this morning. Do you know what I mean? Commander Balosh is here. Welcome aboard. 98 Vulcan, hope you're well. And yeah, lads, Nevergraph team are in the chat. You're most welcome in. Can't wait for Expo, lads. And it's been a minute since FS weekend, hasn't it? Right, shall we jump in and get ourselves up and running? And you know what I mean? Let's see what happens. As I said, I do have some multiplayer stuff turned on here as well, so we'll see what the crack is. So here we are. Welcome to the cockpit, or it's almost like a flight deck of the Starship, and we have some yeah, there's some nice lights outside. So we're going to remove the control lock, and we're going to bring up our tablet here. And this will allow us, you know, remove the before flight, refuel the aircraft, and so on. But we can also do it all using the walk around function. Nick built his own walk around, so you can walk out the aircraft and then start moving things, clicking things, and all the jazz. It's all there, and it's done really, really well. So we're going to top up some fuel here. Our auxiliary tanks, we're going to go 70 gallons in each. And we're going to top up our main tanks, and we'll go 170 in each. Now you'll notice that our gross weight, see the way the color here has changed? That's letting us know it's going to be too heavy to land safely on the landing gear. So it's not overweight, we're just going to be too heavy if we need to, you know, do an immediate landing. So we need to watch that, all right? The only way to lose weight, if we can dump the fuel, I don't think you can on this. Maybe you can, but you just burn the fuel, right? So that's all looking good here. Our wheel chocks, pitot covers, engine covers, and the gear pins are all there. Lead Ballooner, good to see you. Expo will be fantastic. Providence should be a laugh. Yeah, I don't... It's like... Vegas was like, you know... And then... Providence is like... Wild? Maybe not. No. Quick question. Don't suppose you won the Euro Millions? Did you see that someone in Ireland won 250 million euro? I can all announcement. It wasn't me. If it was me, you would have heard about it yourself, as in you would have heard me shout. You know, I'd have bought a Starship, the Enterprise that is. But anyway, we have a couple of options over here. We can click in these areas, right? You can see they're the gear pins. Might be hard to see because, you know, the lighting isn't great because it's dark. But that's where all they live. And we also have our little 3.5-inch floppy disk to give ourselves some updates. So we'll remove the wheel chocks, computer covers, and the engine covers. All are terribly important to get ourselves up and running. We have the engine page. We also have the cabin page. So much so with the avionics, it's not just the cabin we need to worry about when it comes to cooling. It's also the avionics, just behind the main panel, but then also in the bay towards the nose of the airplane. That's where all the heavy components live that power said avionics. It's all about managing temperatures. If the temperatures go up or if they go too high, well, your systems are liable to fail. That would be a bad day. So managing the aircraft is quite important. Now, for those who aren't interested in getting, you know, this deep into it, well, you have a lot of options. You can turn stuff off. There's no consequence. And you can just kind of fly around as you would with any aircraft. However, as I said, I keep saying this, but the plane invites you to learn more about it. There's so many systems at play here, and it's cool to see. It's cool to experience this in flight sim. Do you know what I mean? So we'll go back to all this now in a moment. As we're looking around, we're going to start putting some power into the aircraft, and quick check out the back here, right? Beautiful cabin, everything's modelled, it's just superb looking. The main door is still open. We can have a look at the very back here, and this is where our chocks will live, right? Click them again, Murphy. And yeah, best aircraft ever built, right? Brilliant. Right, so we'll close the little hatch there. Lovely. And your main kind of cabin air vent is just down here, look. That's terribly, terribly important. You know what I mean? Anna Crusses, good to see you. I did win the Euro Millions, but only €5. Great success. Could you imagine? We also have some options down here. We can actually turn on and off some of the interior lights of the cabin, which is all controlled by the crew, which is nice to see. And if you wanted to close the door of the aircraft, I think we have a handle up here. Yes. We can bring this up and close. See those courtesy lights? They'll turn off once the seal is locked. There it is, locked. And that's it. Aircraft fully sealed and ready to rock. So before we power on the batteries here, we're going to make sure we have a couple of things checked. Our props are, well, they're not feathered, but they're off. Throttle is off. Mixture's off. It's actually condition, not mixture. Parking brake is set. Landing gear is in the down position. Flap handle is in the up position. So when we do put power into the aircraft, it's not going to start shouting at us. We do have an option of some lights up here as well. Now, before the King Airs kind of came on the scene, Beechcraft always had this beautiful kind of teal lighting. Do you ever see like that beautiful kind of greenish blue color? And it was usually activated by emergency batteries. It had its own battery source. But this one doesn't. However, it does have its own standby power because there are 14 screens on this aircraft, and each screen is actually built in with redundancy, meaning if you lost one, well, you can transfer it somewhere else, and so on, right? But it does also feature the very old steam gauge. These are our emergency backup instruments. Something goes terribly wrong, at least we'll know how fast we're going, the attitude of the aircraft, and then our altitude. They're the last line of defense, if you like, right? So we're going to test these puppies first because they have their own electrical source. They have their own battery, basically, right? So we have a button down here. See this? Standby gyro buttons. So if we turn those on and have a look at that artificial horizon, the gyro simulation there is pure physics. That's the gyro spinning up, and then this guy is doing his thing. And that's all been coded. Nick had access to a lot of the pilots of this aircraft, and they're able to tell him, hey, look, we do this, we do that. You know what I mean? It's incredible information about it. So with that done, we're going to come over here, disappear the yokage for the moment. And what we're going to do, we'll turn on the master battery, right? And let's see what happens here. So battery coming on. We're going to be checking our main battery. We have 26.1 volts inside the aircraft, which is grand. We're not going to worry about external power today. We're going to power up this aircraft from itself, and let's see what happens. The fuel indicator, so that's showing it each fuel compartment, and a compartment of fuel is made up from the aft and the main tanks. The aft tanks kind of auto feed, right? There's like a little jet pump in there, so it auto feeds into the main tank, so they'll empty out first. But you need to be careful. For whatever reason, if they get airlocked or the pump fails, you'll end up with fuel stuck in an aft tank. It ain't getting out of there until you get on the ground, and that'll upset the weight and balance and all this. All right, so we don't want to keep the battery on for too long. However, master lights can come on. And let me see here now. We can bring up just some lights in here, because the lighting on this aircraft, lads, absolutely gorgeous, right? And let me see. It's just coming alive here now. The cabin temperature is high. It's quite warm in here, so we'll want to be getting at that here now in a moment. Let's just get our stuff here now. So our overhead cabin and cabin aisle, seatbelts can go on. Nav lights will be put on, and our low strobes. Lights master is already on. So let's see what happens here now. So standard warning lights, that's all grand. We're going to bring our props full forward, and let's just double check our power. We don't have it in beta. We'll go near the, we'll mess around with the oxygen and all that jazz here now in a moment. When we're going to be starting the aircraft, we just want to make sure then that all our circuit breakers are in. They haven't popped. Left side is good. Let's come over here to the right side. Quick check. And the right looks good here as well. And if our avionics bus is down here, these are all tests we can play with. They're all looking good as well. So we can start the aircraft with our, whatchamacallit. If we go to the back of the airplane, there the inertial separators opening. So the fans, or not the fans, these plates, if you like, they're actually moving across. So you can see now that they've now opened fully, and they'll stop foreign object debris, FOD, effectively. Bits of dirt, you know, dust, twigs, leaves, all that kind of stuff. Stops it going into our beautiful, shiny PT6 engine, right? Right engine is the same, so they're going to be open on both, which is what we wanted. Engine condition, right, I damaged these the last time. I over torqued them, but let's leave them there and see what happens. So the right engine is what we're going to start with first. Now, I don't need to worry too much when it comes to the engine auto ignition system. It's all automated, so when we go to start the aircraft, it'll activate these systems when it needs them. So we're going to start with that, right? Fuel temperature is fine. Standby pumps don't need to worry about those. The cabin kind of bleed systems are off at the moment. We need to get some power in the aircraft and start it up. So to do this, we're going to go for a start on the right side. We're going to engage the ignition system, and when this does come alive, we'll need to be monitoring, we'll need to monitor what's happening. Now, when it comes to avionics, because I'll need to be able to see what's happening here. So let's see, ground, test that. Avionics blower, I'm going to turn that one on. Battery power is on for these. We can turn on, I think it's the ECAS. Here we go, because I want to see me engines, yeah? So we're going to use these now on startup, and we can see our battery voltage. It's draining away fairly quickly. P. Potter, good to see you. The seats are reeking. Hoover them first. Right, do you know, although the carpet, do you know, take the socks off and just make, you know, clenches with your toes. Brilliant. Iron Bird is here, good to see you. Right, and Toto. Hope all as well. Right, will we go for a start on this before I kill the battery? Let's. So, starter engage. Right side. And the sounds are magnificent. So we're going to allow our N1 to rise. It'll stable at around kind of 1700 there, give or take, right? And then we're going to introduce some fuel. So we wait and see what happens. So once you get it to its maximum speed, you don't want to hot start the aircraft, yeah? So when we introduce fuel, we monitor our ITT and we keep an eye on our NG. Fuel coming in. Here goes our ITT. And it peaks at 747 degrees, all as well. And we now continue monitoring N1 to make sure we go above 50. Then we can disengage that starter. That's good. Starter off. And now we're going to go for the right side gen. Turn it on. Reset it. And if we have a look at what the generator is doing, we got 28.6 volts. Back to the battery, which is now recharging, which is great. Viper Strike, thank you very much indeed. 49 months supporting the channel. Thank you very, very much indeed, Viper Strike. Hope you're well, buddy. What a legend. Now, we're going to do the same now when it comes to the left-hand side. The good news is, with the right side, with the right engine, that's powering our air conditioning system, right? So if we have a look here now on the cabin, when we open the bleeds, we're going to see these fans come up to life, look. So we're going to say the blowers high and the temperature low. So low temperature everywhere, temperature source on auto, and the bleed valves opening up here on the right side. We can now see that our fans have now all turned on, and because it's very hot in the ground, right, we need to look after those. So it's quite hot in here. Let's see what happens when it starts cooling down. Now we're going to continue now. We're going to go on the left side. You see the lights kind of dim down, the draw of power on the aircraft as this is happening. So N1 is rising. Again, we're going to wait till this gets up to 17, 18%, give or take, and then we can continue on. The good news is the cabin is now cooling and our air conditioning compressor is now working. So lovely cold air about to flow in. There's 18%. Down a smidgen. 753 she peaked out at. That's quite okay. And we watch the N1, make sure we get up past 50, then disengage that starter. There's 50. Starter off. Left generator on. Reset. And a quick check. So we can see the battery temp load 20%, 20%. Center buses are all working. The battery itself is recharged, and our generators are doing what our generators need to do. While we're here now, we're going to turn on our auto feather test. Auto feather to arm. External power is off. Rest of our avionics can come alive. Beautiful, authentic sounds of this aircraft as well. So we can see our stuff starting to power up here. Actuators, they're okay. Let me see here now. Windshield, that's okay for the moment. Anti-skid is okay. Self-test is in progress. Cabin temperature is high. We'll put on both bleeds now. And that temperature will hopefully start coming down the road. So I think we're looking good. We got a good start. So let's double check on the engine conditions. So, governor's okay. Generators are working. We're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good on both sides. Electrical, all our buses are doing what they need to do. Yeah, we're fine. That's a good old start. Temperature is hot, very hot. So we're going to let them run here now for the moment. Reset our barrel, and we're going to start putting in some information into the aircraft. Initialize the system, and database is okay. Position looks good. Let's go okay here. So we can start putting in our own flight details, right? We also have all our procedures. We can also check on our avionics if there's any faults. We're looking good. Crew notes if there was any airport elevation, density, altitude, runway length, all that sort of stuff. What else we have? Present position on the map, so we can go ahead and look at the map, and we activate the joystick. Nick was saying that he fixed all this. You can see the movement. See that movement on the joystick? It's way better now. Way, way better now. So it's great to see. So let me see. We go back one. We have our planning map, right? Show us terminal waypoints as well. So we can actually plan the entire route from just this screen, clicking on, okay, we're going to go from here to there, from here to there, which is brilliant, right? So you have a load of options when it comes to planning your flights with this airplane, all right? Sandman is here. Good to see you, buddy. So let's have a look here at Navigraph as we're going to inspect, you know, what our flight is going to be like. We're going to do some VOR stuff here. So we could pick the outbound radial from Bilbao on the VOR, but we're pretty close enough. We'll pick up the Santander radial, whatever she's going to be. Probably the 110, and that's going to be 115.3. We'll tune all this stuff in now in a moment, and you know, it'll actually auto-tune if we put the frequency in directly itself, alright? So we can go to initialize the system, yeah, that is okay. Our fuel management, so how much fuel we have on board, fuel remaining, so we can put this in. So let's have a quick look here now. Oxygen not armed, power brake in op, anti-skid in op. So we need to press some buttons. Anti-skid coming up, that gets rid of that problem. We're going to go for the oxygen system. Oxygen is... where did I hide that one now? We're good here, we're good there. Enter, enter. Parking brake, nose trim. Our main trim, we'll go back to that now in a moment. Oxygen, we have... Jesus, where's the oxygen on this again? Oh yeah. Oxygen system. Pull that guy out. Our crew alert system, that solves that. And you can go down now and actually test the oxygen. Good, good, good. Muse fan is here. Good to see you, Muse. So remember, you have to actually turn on the oxygen system before you'll actually get oxygen moving out of the face masks. That's just the way it works, right? Cabin temperature is starting to drop. That's good. Avionics bay is still very hot. That'll change once we get airborne. So we'll try not to stay too much longer on the ground. Prop sync we're going to leave off for takeoff. So it's in here we want to put in some information. So our total fuel. Let me see here now. Total fuel on board. Well, we're going to say 1598 plus 1595. 3 and a bit. 3200. Is it? 1597 plus 1595, right? Plus 1595. So we've got 3192 in there. 3192, right? So we can go in and we can use a keyboard. 3192. Enter. In you go. Enter. That's a fuel. All right. P. Potter became a member of the channel with flight crew. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. How very kind. Can you imagine flying a plane like this, though? I mean, who's in charge? Let me see now. Weights, cargo. That's all fine. That's all fine. We're going to come back here. Let me see now. In it. Fuel used, fuel remaining. That's all grand. That's all grand. I don't think I need to worry about that. What else do we want to do here now? We want to go in and go to... The nav source is VOR, right? Let me see now. If we go back to our index page or our flight plan, so we can actually start putting in the route. So we're on the ground here at Lima Echo Bravo Bravo, and we're going to enter that. And if we want to get the name of the VOR station rather than just the frequency, right? We can see that it's SNR. See that? Santander is SNR. So that's the airport. Poof. Next up is going to be SNR. Enter. That's the VOR. Yes. We're going to pick another VOR station here now, looking at Navigraph. So after SNR, we have another one. We have Asturias, right? There's DME, ADF stuff here as well. So that's going to be VES. That's the next waypoint. VES. Enter. VOR. Okay. After that, I love the way we can navigate this way. It's going to be A Coruna. Or La Coruna, which is L or A. So you can see the Morse code identifier, right? And when you tune your radio in, for example, to 115.1 and you're within range, well, this is going to give us a dash dash. So it'll sound like this, you know. No, that's the wrong button. Something like that. That's what it'll pick up on your headset, you see. So that one there is going to be L or A. We can tune into a non-directional beacon, or we can tune into the VOR that has DME. So it's L or A. That's our last one. Now, you can use the T9 keyboard, or when you click on the screen, it automatically knows you're using your keyboard, and it doesn't impact on any other button or switch that you have. Great level of coding, and very friendly then when it comes to us flight simmers. But we can type it in this way. So what was that code again? L or A. So if you wanted to use the old school keyboard, see this, you're going to press number 4, but change the letter. L. Next one. Or. And then A is on number 1, but you click the letter L or A, enter, that's the VOR, and OK to that. End the flight plan. We can now have a look at the range here to get an idea of where we're going, right? Let's see here now. That's 50 miles, 100 miles. So you get the idea. And we can move this gadget across. So let's bring out our joystick here and let's move across. Wonder how we move the screen, I wonder. Interesting. But yeah, I really like the fact that you can move this just like your mouse. So like if we wanted a different, you know, if we wanted to go to this place here, we'll just move the joystick onto it and then press enter and it'll say, oh hey, you're pointing at this? Okay, sure, I'll load it in. It's real good. Anyway, let me see. CDU1, yeah, we're going with that. Radar, no. Plan map, present position on the map. You can display that now. So that's our route, that's how it's going to look. The VOR stations should dial in automatically. Failing that, we'll start tuning them in manually. Just make sure that they're all there, right? So let's start moving our route inside Navigraph, press and hold, and then drag it up to the waypoint. And this is going to do our entire flight for us like this. Just drag it up to the waypoint, and it should be able to pick it up for us. And you'll also see now that our flight plan up on the very, very top has been updated as well. Navigraph gives you the options. You can type the route, you can import the route, you can plan from within Navigraph itself, or simply type in your start, your finish, and then drag and drop your route where it is you want to go. Dead handy, right? Dead handy. So that's what we're doing now, look. Do we have any others over here? We don't. No. So that's how we're looking, right? We're going to go over the sea here for a little bit. We could go down to the Leon VOR if we wanted to. So that route there, that is what we're doing, lads, all right? We'll also go back here, have a quick look at our airport. We know the wind is blowing against us. It's probably runway 12. So if we have a look, it's going to say, well, these are the runways that are available. And based on what the wind is currently doing, based on live weather, well, it's going to give you information to say, well, look, these runways, all green, yeah, they're the best. They do have a bit of a crosswind component, but you're going to be getting a headwind. Airplanes always want to take off against the wind blowing against them, right? Anyway, runway 12 is what we're going for because we can also see the length of the runways here. See that? The length and width of the runways. So we got 8,500 feet. It'll be grand, right? Dougal McTavish, good to see you, Dougal. Chairman, move the cursor to the edge of the screen and push maybe. Yeah, I wasn't sure. We'll try it now in a while. The original Azrev, thank you very much indeed for the follow. Happy Wednesday. Linny Bobbins, good to see you. In Bed Entertainment, Janie. Is it possible to copy the plan from the charts to the avionics to the Starship? Not yet, no. So again with Navigraph, we have this route, all right? And if we can use, we have a couple of options, right? That's just the Navigraph charts app that I'm using, right? We can bring up our tablet here and we can open up Navigraph within the default Microsoft Flight Sim EFB. Now this will still find it, so just give it a second to load up. This will actually find our previous route. Our avionics are literally going to go on fire here. So if I unload this, it's going to find my last one. Here it is there. Look, LEBB to LECO. That's the route. However, there's no way to export this just yet into the Starship because its avionics are quite different, right? So what you do? But yes, you can use your Navigraph from inside here as well. And it works the very same way. I mean, you can edit your flight. You can exactly as you're just seeing it on the charts app. I prefer the app, but yeah, that's what that does. Right, we need to get going here, friends. So up on top here, taxi lights coming on. Anti-collisions are fine. Bar light, no, don't need those. Landing lights, put on the nose for the moment, and set a notch of flaps while we're sitting here. We're also going to go ahead and select an altitude. We're west, so we're going to go. We'll go 6.5 for the moment. It's VF4, well, it's not really VF4, but sure, listen, they won't give out to us. We're going to set that. We can also have our barrow set, and then we have our vertical speed climb. That's all here on one handy little gadget, right? Oh yeah, our nav frequencies. Let's go in and have a look at this. So let me see. We're going for runway 12. I'm down here. We're going to have to taxi onto the deltas and then up to 12. Fairly straightforward. While we're in here, I want to get the frequency. It's going to be 115.3. So we're going to make sure that's tied in. VOR, we're going to change this ourselves. 115.3. In you go. Lock them in, and we're going to be going VOR navigation over here. We can also go VOR over there. We want VOR 1, please. VOR 1 is in. We're not going to get much detail until we get airborne, right? Anything else you want to do? Pitot heats, windshield, leave all that on auto for the moment. Don't need to isolate any of the buses. It's as I said, it's quite hot in here. We need to get moving. So let's get this show on the road. The last thing I needed to do was transponder, which we have down here. So we're going to change the code. We should be 7,000. And it says standby. We should be able to go altitude mode, I think. No, it's standby. How do we change? Oh, here we go. ATC 1, standby, ATC 1. I think that's correct now. That's ident. Yeah, no, we're good. Right, friends. Off the brakes. We're rolling. And let's start making our way out towards the active, which I think we can turn over this way. Now our engine anti-ice is on. We're going to keep that on until we don't need it a little bit later on. Do you know what I mean? Beautiful morning here. Welcome to Bilbao. It's quite warm out here. Now we're at 52 degrees. We're in a bit of a danger area here with those avionics, so that'll all change once we get airborne. Go ahead and put on all our lights because we're going to need them as we cross our runway. We're clear both sides. Continue on. Bit of a ramp getting us down there. Loke is good to see you. Flight Sim Max is here, good to see you. Two-Tone Junior, good to see you. You're cutting grass. Alright. Don't fall over. He nearly fell over. It's all happening now, lads. Right, so we're taxiing up here to runway 12. Flaps are already set. And we'll see now. We should start getting, once we get airborne, we're going to see some VOR information. We'll get a bearing, we'll get a course probably, and we'll also get some, whatchamacallit, range information as well. Tell him to cut mine as well, right? The original address, so I take it is compatible with both versions of the sim. I don't think so. I think this is a 24 aircraft only. I could be wrong, unless I've missed something. Right, onto the active we go. Left is clear, right is clear. Get ourselves lined up. Now, when we say flaps, flaps are those canards just in front of us, right? So I want to show you just the movement of these, because they're class looking, right? So we're going to hold position just here, right? Beautiful sounds. Now I want to show you this, right? There we go. Now, check this out when we move them, right? So the flap, if you like, is currently forward. If we want to move it back again, like, isn't it the coolest thing you've ever seen in the history of cool things, isn't it? Isn't it mad looking? And it does give us elevator controls, see, on the front. Isn't it only brilliant? And as I say, it's quite a unique airplane to fly, because the handle's lovely. Right, I think we're looking good here, lads, so power up. Out of beta, please. Pumps are all looking good, electrics are all looking good. We do want some heading stuff. Where's my dials for that? So the heading button is down here somewhere. Think now, Murph, think. Heading button, Murph. And just like that, I've completely lost my plane. Here it is. Sync the heading. We'll go ahead and get our autopilot somewhat armed. We're going to climb at 1,500 feet. We're going up to 6,500. Autopilot is where we needed to be. We're going to activate all of this here now in a moment. We're saying 1,500. That'll do. We do have some switches down there for the autopilot and our yaw dampener. So we'll activate those once airborne. Right, friends. Easy does it now. Power coming in. Very careful on the prop and the torque. Autofetter has engaged. Governors should kick in. Takeoff power has been set. Bring back the prop. Easy now, Murph. You're cooking the engines. You're cooking the engines back into where you belong. There's 70 knots. As it looks a bit better. So the autofetter system is going to hold them, right? You'll also notice that the avionics bay temperature will start dropping fairly lively as well, which is what we want. Alright, we're looking good. We're looking at about 110 here to rotate. Oopsie daisy. Alright. We have a positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. About 115 on our climb out here. Nice. Go ahead, bring those flap back in. Yeah, you can have a long takeoff run, but it's, you know, autopilot, yaw dampener needs to be activated again. A little bit of, just a little bit of work when it comes to the trim. We're going to go heading. We're going to go VS mode because we already have it set up, yeah. I'm on down here, double check our master switches are on. They're on. VOR information already coming in, great news. So let's turn this radial until we can start picking it up. And you also have the flag here telling you what direction. So if it's pointing towards it, then you're going towards it. If it's pointing away from it, then you're moving away from it. Quick check here, everything's looking good. Engine conditions, we're looking good. Bell Bro is flying with us. Beautiful sights, man. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Alright, so we'll continue climbing here. There's, as you could have imagined, right? It's quite mountainous up here. Isn't this beautiful, Bilbao? Beautiful part of the world. Absolutely gorgeous. Now we're going completely the wrong way, but it's grand. We'll figure it out in a moment. So, bring Navigraph back into the scene once again. Let's have a quick look. So we're going to do a left turn out by the coast and then start tracking that VOR as we head up towards Santander. Now we also have options here when it comes to our screens because we can go with some radar here as well. So if we go back, we can go into our radar and we can also bring up a terrain radar as well. So if we come down here to our whatchamacallit, radar control, see this? So we can go ground map on. Here's our ground information. And we'll also put in the weather and the turbulence so we'll be able to see if there's anything with weather here. All of the gains and all that jazz, we can adjust those ourselves. Auto tilt, right? Previous page. Ground map. So it's going to start drawing in what we need to see. So we're going to start with a left turn here. We're on heading mode. We're currently on the runway heading. Let's do a left turn. Hard left turn over to 360 degrees. Man, look at the views. Yeah, that exposure setting, yeah, give us a genius. Jeez, I had my camera off. Give us a genius. So 360, we'll dial that in. There we go. Nice sweeping turn. I'll leave the wing lights on, I suppose. So it's now 17 degrees inside the cabin. We're down to 44 degrees in that avionics bay and about 23 degrees on our instrument panel. So it's starting to come down nicely. Man alive, look at the views. Isn't that spectacular, lads? Look. Absolutely gorgeous. So we're approaching our cruise altitude. We've got a lot of clouds ahead of us. Let's bring in this weather radar now rather than the ground. So we'll go weather. What else do we want to do here? Let's have a look. Auto tilt. So this should be able to figure this one out itself. We can tilt it ourselves, but the auto tilt means it should find where that weather is. And we can bring the range in. So like, that's ridiculous range. Let's call it maybe, you know, up to 30 miles. And we can tilt this ourselves. And we can also increase the gain. Nothing hitting us at the moment. That's interesting. Again, the radar detects precip, weather and turbulence. It might show us a little bit of both. I wonder will auto tilt work it in? It might do. Stabilization will want that. Ground map gain normal. I wonder can we fix that one? So there's our gain. That'll make it a lot louder, right? 2024. Yeah, absolutely, Dougal. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. All right, let's just check on our engines here now, right? So we got to be careful when it comes to torque and temperatures. Engine is behaving. It's looking okay. We did cause a bit of damage the last time we were out for a jaunt. Now what I'm going to do, looking at where our torque setting is here now, we're around 81%, but I'm going to close off the inertial separation. Now as I do that, you'll see this flap here, this guy is going to start closing. And as it does, we're going to see an increase on our torque. So you need to be very careful with this, right? Easy does it now. So we're effectively getting more power into the aircraft. So we're going to ease off the torque ourselves, or the ITT rather. We're going to ease this off. Speed is very fast, so we're going to bring this down a smidgen. We're going to bring our prop back down now. That's good to me. That looks good to me. And what we're going to do now, we're going to use our VOR navigation to try and find out where we're going. So we need to make a left turn now over to 270 degrees. Let's turn that heading in. And we can see now that we have information about our waypoint, right? We know it's a VOR. We know that it's 53 miles away. And if we want to know, is that the exact one? I can now start listening to the beeps. Now, an issue I've always had in the sim is the loudness of the engines. Now, we can stick our headphones in, right? And if you're listening closely, you'll hear the beeping. All right. So again, that's going to tie up with what we were looking at here using our charts from Navigraph. We should get an identifier that's ... dash ... dash ... That's it. Now we know we're flying towards that VOR. That's the identifier, and let's see what happens. So let's hone in a little bit better. We can see we're slightly off, so if we were to change our course to intercept, well, it's actually slightly more left than 270. Realistically, it's over here a little bit, about 267, something or roughly like that. And of course, you need to be watching when it comes to the wind drift. It's going to be pushing you off course. Now the autopilot can absolutely take over when it goes to nav mode. We're feeding it via VOR, right? So let's go to our autopilot, which is down here, and we'll say, right, we're going to stick you on nav mode. Now this will automatically track. It'll automatically track. If we go to our flight plan page, let me see here now. This should be feeding in. It should be feeding them one after the other. See this auto leg? So it should be following the legs as we get there. All right, and that's under your system controls. So our flight plan is looking good. Nav is looking good. We're tuned in. Next frequencies should come alive. We'll worry about that in a moment. Keep that on the flight plan page. With our radar over here, it's not doing much for us. It's not showing me anything, which is strange. I don't see anything there. We might go back one, right? And we'll go into our radar control. It's not really picking up anything, to be honest. The ground map it'll show, or at least it should do. There it is. It's starting to draw some features there now of the terrain. So, yeah, look at it. We're going grand. We can use it on our current. Now, see these? We can turn off all these different nav aids on the screen. So we can just turn it on here, look. It's going to read radar as well, and we can either bring out the range or bring in the range, and we can tidy up that screen. Reduce map or deselect menus. Map incomplete. It can't load it all in, right? Locust, you're going hatchet on the buttons. So we'll zoom in here. 50 miles is good enough, and we're now in the soup. We planned this one well, didn't we? Look at that view. Okay, we know it's the right identifier. Turn that off on the radio. And we see how we go from here, right? Again, engines are good. Failures, hopefully nothing is shown. No active failures. The cabin is starting to cool down, which is what we wanted. Engine is behaving itself as well. And we can keep an eye on what our fuel is doing. Got a lot of points. Don't know what else to do with them. The Great Hadoken is here. Good to see you. I have when you have a blockage in one ear, and then you put your headphones on to listen to Murph, and you can't tell if it is his fault or your fault. It was my fault. That's okay, The Great Hadoken. Usually I don't get complaints that I'm too quiet. definitely the opposite. Right, prop sync, go ahead and flick that on. You'll want that off when we go to land, right? Turn that guy off there as well. There's nothing on our cast scene. The auxiliary fan is blowing, but we'll keep that there. What else do we need to see here now? That's all grand. That's all grand. Yeah, no, we're behaving. Engines are running comfortably. I didn't create any more damage. Temperatures and pressures, everything's doing the way they should. So we're now heading towards the SNR, which is Santander's VOR. John Hawks is with us, 6,000. Good to see you, John. Surprised we're not getting the weather radar, look. Isn't that a good one, isn't it? Radar. Radar control. Radar 2. Radar 1. Right, there's test. Grand, so it works. Turn off the test. We were saying auto tilt. So what if we tilt this now ourselves? 50 miles? Let's draw closer. No. Interesting. We've the gain horsed up as well, so like we should be seeing it. Strange, right? Very interesting, very interesting. Has anyone been brave enough to update to the latest NVIDIA drivers? Not yet, Schutz. Righto, got to get it to normal time tomorrow. The Limbics. Have a very peaceful sleep, my dude. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Oh, look at the views, though. I know there's cloud here, but like, it's gorgeous. Hey, Kilburn is with us. This might get a little loud outside. Oh, look at that. There's Retro Prop flying with us. Isn't it just mad, isn't it? Clouds are interesting. Now, we shouldn't have clouds for the rest of this. We'll see what happens. Did the update yesterday. No problem so far. Yeah, it'll be interesting now when the 5090 goes in there, how that behaves. You know? I actually very miss one kind of emoticon when we have bounce terrain, something like GPWS warning. Maybe we can have a look. Now, speaking of audio, I'm running this other little application here. Gibbo was like, Murphy, you need to check it out. And say this now. We can select where we want our sounds, right? So PA volume, internal volume, and we can set all this up, right? So we can see, well, look, this is the volumes here. So it knows we're in the analog. It says analog King Air. That's interesting. What can we do here? Internal volume, Microsoft Flight Sim volume. And it does this auto separation. Like if ATC or someone is talking to you, it'll actually bring down the audio of the other bits and pieces. So VHF2 volume, right? So that'll be down here. But where I have my volume controls, I don't really know. Where's the volume? Oh, they're over here, look. Okay, so these are volume switches for COM1, COM2, right? So let's go back into this guy. If I were to say, well, it's not VHF, it's actually DME. So this is interesting. Add-ons, external. It'll do Pilot Edge, VPilot, that's good. So do all your VATSIM stuff. Add-ons configuration, joystick setup. So VH volume 1, VHF volume 1, that's going to be your COM 1. And we're going to say, is that VHF 2 then? Microsoft Flight Sim. And if I start dialing this guy down, that's a handy little gadget, isn't it? I've just turned down my sounds by using COM 2. Now, isn't that the dog's what's it right there? That's fierce handy. Now, it would be great if it could target, you know, specific systems. You know what I mean? Cambridge calling. Idle cut off. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. This is nice. We can actually start pointing these to different audio sources as well. So some folks were saying, you know, wouldn't it be great if you can have like VATSIM on one channel or something else on a different channel? Basically what this FS realistic audio control does, it activates the volume switches on your avionics. So, for example, I have Microsoft Flight Sim. Its audio is pushed into COM 2, right? Now, if I remove the headphone simulation, for instance, right, and I now go to my COM 2, if I start dialing that fella down, off it goes. Now, that's a $20 add-on, but like, you know what I mean? Gibbo, if you're watching, it's doing the thing that you wanted it to do. Beautiful. Now, how are we getting on here with our VOR navigation? We are 16 miles out. Let's bring up Navigraph. So our next station is on a frequency of, let's see, 112.4. So 112.4, that needs to go in there. If we have a look at the nav, so see this pre-select, and we can save all of these as well. Energizer, good to see you, buddy. John Hawks is retro prop. Nice, John, nice. Goose is here. Good to see you, Goose. Hope all is well. I also tried the demo of Axes and O's. Didn't know it was that easy to set up your aircraft. Definitely worth a try. Ooh, nice. Yeah, we'll have to check it out. Okay, so these are pre-select. So I wonder if we do pre-select 2, which is going to be the next frequency that we're looking for, which is 112.4, right? So if I go in here... Oh, wait. Uh-oh, don't do that. If I do 112.4, 112.4, right? 112.4. So we should be able to pre-select that then. So 1154. Didn't like that. It's 1153, Murphy. 1153. Put you back in. 1153. There we go. And then we'll do the next one then. Is going to be 112.4. So let's just see what happens there when it kind of bugs into the next one. All right. Should be grand though. Man, these views are beautiful. What a gorgeous plane. Like, we're cruising along here about 230, 240 knots. You couldn't sim without X's and O's? Really? Isn't that absolutely stunning? That's gorgeous, lads. Time of day as well. That exposure composition thing, that has made such a difference. It really has. So, yeah, a couple of more miles out, and let's see what we're going to do here now. So we're approaching the Santander VOR. We check again on Navigraph. We can see it there. All right. And as we intercept this one, we're going to head over then to the next one. And we could go VOR 2, right? Because this guy, if we tune it into VOR 2, that's the wrong button. Here we go. VOR 1, VOR 2. So for us to tune that into VOR 2, we would have to go to a frequency on our second over here. So you can see COM 2. So see this 108.7? Let's change this guy. So what do we say? 112.4. VOR 2. See the way this guy is now lightening up? So if we were to turn the course... So it's starting to drift, but that's okay because the other signal, it's actually simulating the interference from the Santander VOR. That's why that's why that needle is hopping around, right? So if we were to go back to VOR 1, we're only 4 miles out. Yeah, we're only 4 miles out, and the autopilot is holding that. Look at the state of the scenery, lads. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Look at that. Beautiful. Right, so let's keep an eye on things here then for the moment. Marker beacon. Yeah, turn that up. Up you divil. DME as well. And then if we go nav radio. That's good and loud. Good and loud. Marker beacon, yeah, we'll probably leave them on for the crack. Alright, so we're now 1.9 or 1.3 miles out. So what we're going to do, lads, we're going to transfer over to a new VOR. Now, we can tell the aircraft, hey, I now want you to navigate me onto VOR 2. Have a look at this. Boom. VOR 2 comes in. And now we're going to adjust our course and heading, or the fact that we have it on autopilot, right? We're on nav source, but the aircraft should, I think, start pointing us towards our second VOR. VOR 1 is here, but we're now moving away. See the way we have this little green arrow pointing away from it? Yeah? So that's moving away from that station. So now for this one to work, we're gone to VOR 2. Nav active is, that's grand. Flight plan, you should be going now, which it has. VES is the next waypoint. Name, I think it is. Yeah, Asturias, that's VES. So it is picking up what Navigraph is telling it. But roll, right, so we need to go back onto nav mode. Nav mode, and you should be following our VOR 2, which it is. She's going to roll to the right, get this guy all lined up here in front of us. Ground speed 244, we're doing good. And let's see what happens here. It's trying to intercept that radial. It's under pressure there. Oh no, she's alright. Level off. It's an older autopilot. So like it's not going to be as sharp accurate as the other one. You know what I mean? So then we'll go back into VOR 1 and we'll start planning in our next frequency, right? So Asturias is looking good. So our last one is going to be 115.1, right? 115.1. So we'll go ahead and put that into here. 115.1. On our VOR 1 screen, we're going to go 115.1, right? And lock that in there. Pilot on the right side, we have him keyed into VOR 1, but we can go VOR 1 over here. This is our current VOR 2 station, 84.5 miles out. And this is VOR 1. We're not getting any information in here whatsoever. We're too far out. Now, I'm a little bit nervous because it's not picking up that VOR 2. There she be. So it's trying to fly to it on a very particular radial. See that? Now, probably the better thing to do, or the better thing would have been fly outbound on the Santander VOR, outbound, right? Until you get to a certain DME. And then, you know, switch over. But I just wanted to see what would happen here. So we had to clear the Santander one there before it started reacting. So it looks as if now it's starting to react. But you can see that needle is still moving. It's just different frequencies catching up with each other. And this appears to be simulated beautifully. Like I know over in Ireland, like especially up around Dublin and that, so you've the Collinstown VOR, and there is a VOR station at Bal, but it doesn't really work that well. A lot of the time you'd always track an outbound VOR from Collinstown, which is Dublin. Do you know what I mean? And you do get that sort, especially when Bal is up and running, it interferes with it. So we'll see what happens, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's trying to hunt it, see that? So we're not necessarily directly on a radial, but it's doing a good job. That's VOR 2, 78 miles out, so that's good range. VOR 1, I've now put that into the 11510. That's La Corona, and that's going to pick up our final VOR before we get there. And flying VOR, I mean, this is the earliest days of your instrument flying. Do you know what I mean? It's long before you had kind of GPS navigation. Now, other things we can do while we're flying. Engine temperatures, everything here is looking good, right? Let's have a quick look at the avionics bay now. Yeah, it's fine. 32 degrees, 16 degrees in the cabin. It's comfortable, a little bit cold maybe, but it certainly looks good. And yeah, so far so good. We're flying well. Lights on. Turn off the old seatbelt lights, let the old passengers go for a bit of a ramble. Flew into Donegal yesterday in the Dukes. I couldn't get the ADF to work. Is it inactive? In Donegal, you say? Not that I'm aware of. I'm not aware it's not working. That's interesting. Okay, we seem to be we're actually doing all right here. This is frightening. Nothing to shout at us yet. Quick check so on the engine condition, 81%, but they're going okay. Battery capacity is good. Right engine, a little bit healthier. That's going okay. Right. Payload, we can see that the fuel has dropped in these auxiliary tanks. Or the aft tanks, if you like. And no failures active. Okay, we're looking good, lads. Have to try a different plane. It didn't pick it up. Well, the navigation on the Dukes works really well, Energizer. So yeah, I'm not sure, buddy. As far as it has worked for me whenever I've used it. Kilburn is out the window. Jeez, there's Belbron and F-16. Look, nice. Idle Cutoff is with us in a Piaggio. Retro Prop is with us as well. Oh, look at that, man. That looks gorgeous. Formation flying for the win, look. Beautiful. We're getting an escort by some Spanish F-16s. Nothing like it. Do you know what I mean? Looks awesome, man. That's weird now. Velbro was there, but he's also back there. Nameplates. Interesting. I mean, look at this state at that for a second. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely stunning that is, isn't it? Some tunage. Hang on, we need the pure 80s vibe. Now, will all this stuff work as well, I wonder? It probably will, look. Ooh. Did you see Nick's trailer? It's all 80s view. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I could really do something nuts here, look. Give it a second now. This is going to look ridiculous. You can fly Starship tomorrow. It's like you got the video on, like, you know, mail order. That's ridiculous. For years and years, we have striven to get the best graphical representation of realism. And in one single movement, Murphy brought us back to the 80s. Brilliant! Cat Bat is in the house. Good to see you, Cat Bat. Welcome in. Cockspur development team, we're in the house. Seb, where are we at? Good to see you, buddy. Naughty Gnome is in the office today. Hope the day is going well. Good to see you, my guy. If you're digging the 80s vibes, put some emotes into that chat. Light them up. shameless plug. Shameless! Admiral's Disaster Lounge. Good to see you, man. A Chumley Warner production. Ridiculous. Yeah, this is all from this is all Reshade, lads. You can do some absolutely mad crazy things with Reshade. It is ridiculous. Starship. Starship. Isn't it only ridiculous? It's ridiculous. Right. Beautiful. It's like the moly, moly, moly. I can't stop staring at the mustache. Moly, moly. Brilliant. Ah, beautiful flying, Bell, bro. Man, what a machine this is. Be gob, then I've broken it. How do we get rid of that button? There we go. Right, what's happening? 34 miles out. We haven't picked up the next VOR just yet. We are tuned in though. 115.1. Bit of navigraph. We're looking good, friends. We're looking good. Yeah, click of a button. We're going into the future. 40 years, man. You gotta love it. Man, look at that view, look. These are called ship fins. Look at the detail, lads. It is spectacular. That AV composition thing, that's a huge difference, isn't it? Insane, man. Absolutely insane. Right, we're having loads of fun with this. Have I broken it yet? No, I haven't. So far, so good, lads. New NVIDIA driver, PS Miranda. Hello there. Yeah, the new NVIDIA driver out. We'll see. I'll grab the latest driver when I'm installing that 5090, which will probably be on Friday. I'm waiting on Amazon to drop out the gadget with the thing, you see, you know. Sim Update 3 also changes lighting. Less overly bright bloom and night lighting is way better. Ooh, nice. 777, I haven't installed it yet, buddy. And like, performance at the moment in the sim, well, we're only getting 50 according to that. Really? Seems more than 50. But yeah, I haven't installed it yet. I have it here beside me. And I'm going to be installing that probably on Friday. I'm just waiting on a gadget to arrive from Amazon, because at the moment the 5090, right, it actually has one less HDMI port than my 4090, so that's why we haven't jumped into that just yet. Do you know what I mean? So Murph, which CPU am I running? I run the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D, or Ryzen 9, is it? What is it actually? The Ryzen 7, I suppose, isn't it? Ryzen 7. Yeah. So it's a Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. Very, very fancy. Do you know? Alright, 22 miles out from the next VOR station. It's actually up the road here. And we've just started slowly starting to pick up the La Coruna. How to speak Spanish? Not here. It's tuning in 121 miles. Jeez, that's savage for a VOR, isn't it? 120 miles away. That's unbelievable. Need to think about a full rebuild. Going to finally abandon Intel. So here's the thing. Dougal, what's your current CPU? I can just imagine the look of the missus when the 5090 box came in the door. Well, right. I mean, you know. You have an i9 11900K. So I think the biggest issues when it comes to Intel and Nvidia as well. I spoke about this over on Patreon. Patreon, shameless plug, but Patreon is an area where I kind of go behind the scenes of what we fly and when we fly and all this, right? It's more aimed at kind of, you know, the tech that I'm using and, you know, streaming and all this, lights and whatever. But anyway, over there, I was discussing that after chatting with Robert in GG Machines over the weekend, he was saying that AI is having a detrimental impact on some coding when it comes to software and hardware. And the reason being is, I mean, you go on to ChatGPT, I mean, you ask it, that'll code whatever you want, right? The problem that we're seeing is some engineers are getting terribly lazy, because they're utilizing AI to do their workload. And it would certainly appear that the Windows 24H2 update is the result of bad code, which was written by AI. It doesn't exactly leave, you know, a paper trail behind it to say, well, what was human and what was AI? So it's very hard for them to identify, well, where's the problem, right? So that's a huge issue. That's why we've seen issues at the launch of the 5090s. That's why we still see issues when it comes to Windows. And then, you know, it was cooking the Intel chips. And even now, if you're on a 13 or 14 series, you need another update. As of maybe a month ago, that's another BIOS update. The only thing is, Intel are aware of all this now, and so are Windows. So don't be surprised if you see a Windows 12 coming out soon, and don't be surprised if you see the next gen of Intel chips coming out soon. Because the only way to fix it is lock humans into a room, write all of the code, and don't budge off your seat until it's done. You know what I mean? I've always been Intel. Every system I've used was Intel. You know, back in the day, you know, the what was it, the 4090 Intel i7 4090K. I mean, that thing was a beast. All the way up to a 14900K. And everything else in between, right? There's a 1270 or 12700 in my streaming PC, which is still pretty good. But I can absolutely tell you this, since making the jump over to AMD, especially when it comes to that CPU, I will never look back. X3D is unbelievably handy, right? And the utilization I get out of the CPU, this will go anywhere from kind of 30 to maybe 70%, depending on what I'm doing. I've never maxed it out. There are settings that in the BIOS you can max it out. Flight Sim doesn't like it. You can see our clock speed is running at just over 5.2 gigahertz. Temperature on the board is about 68 degrees, 70 degrees, right? And it's warm in here, right? I mean, the fans are on like auto mode, right? And the fans, when they come out of the shop, they're set for, you know, audible levels. It's all about not making them too loud, right? But yeah, I mean, with the 8 cores, but because it has X3D, it's for gaming, different kettle of fish. Different. Intel chips, I think, are best for heavy production work, but AMD has really catered to a good gaming PC. 100%. Like the latest chips from AMD, you're talking the 9950s, and even the 9900s. They offer a little bit more headspace when it comes to your gaming on one side, but it's more for like, more friggin' applications running. The 9800 is still the best CPU for gaming. From everything I've read up on, plus everything I test with, the 9800 X3D for me has been by far the best CPU when it comes to flight sims. And that's saying something, considering I used Intel forever. I always used it, you know? So if you're building a machine, if you're thinking about building a flight sim machine, I would be highly recommending AMD. Anything with X3D, if you can get the 9800, get that one. The older ones are good as well. Goofy has a 7800 X3D. Yeah, you can. If you want to go all the way, you can grab a Threadripper, but like that's probably overkill for flight sim, you know? Your last Intel chip was a Celeron 300 overclocked. Ooh, hammer nails. Yeah. No, it's interesting, right? Now, we're on VOR 1. We need to now go VOR 2. So let me go back into our... what are we doing here? Nav source, VOR 1. And we're going to go autopilot back onto nav mode. That should capture. There she goes. And now we're inbound on our VOR 1 station. Forgive me, but how could those people ever just leave the building of Windows to AI without close supervision? It's what's happened. Happened in Intel, happened in Windows. Because what happens is, right, with AI, it's there to assist. Now, the fact that it can write its own code is brilliant. Or is it? And that's the problem. You know? I run a 5700 X3D. I built on a budget and you're happy with it. Montana dude, absolutely, man. Doesn't have to be the biggest and the best. I mean, the whole point of my system is, right, well, this, to where I look at it is, right, the RAM I'm using, it's DDR, I don't know what RAM it is, man. It's fast anyway. It's Hyper Fury or Crucial Hyper Fury, whatever it's called. Kingston Fury. It's 96 gigs of DDR5 or 6, and it's running at 6,000 megahertz. It's fast. DDR5, yeah, like it's fast RAM, right? And I went from 128 gig DDR5. That was 4 sticks. 2 sticks, way better. 2 sticks is just better, right? The motherboard I'm using is this Carbon something. The MSI MPG Carbon. Friggin' nuts. There's a button to reset the BIOS on it, right? Why 96 gigs? Shouldn't it be in blocks of 32? All done. On yourself. That's just the speeds we went for. Patrick Doyle, very good. Yeah, 2 sticks uses the dual channel more efficiently. So I wanted, like, what was the maximum I can put in there? So whatever way it worked out, it doesn't do, you couldn't do 2 sticks of 64. So it's 96 gigs across 2 chips. So what's that, 48, 48? Is it? Something like that. No, so, well, XPO for your RAM, but there's also, well, how do I check the RAM on this? 94 gigs. Would that be right, or is it 96? $32, no. 40, it's a weird number. Yeah, it's 96 gigs. It reserves some space, yeah. Yeah, that's what they are. They're 48 gig DDR sticks. That's what they are. Because they're just rated as the fastest. Do you know? And then when it comes to your hard drives, well, NVMe, they're all the Samsung 970s. Like blistering speed, ridiculous speed. The whole point was, I mean, you can see on my system, and this comes down to, the simulator, right? I'm using DLSS. I'm getting 50 frames. What? Ouch, I'm after bashing my hand. But like, outside what we getting? My frame rate doesn't seem right. There were errors loading some effects. Well, let's reload that gadget, because I reckon that's upsetting the world here. In Flight Sim, I would usually get anywhere between kind of, 50 to 110 frames, give or take, depending on what I'm doing, where we're doing it. And, yeah, I don't know. It's this system on a 4090 as its GPU with a 5090 in there, it shouldn't bottleneck anywhere. Possibly the CPU, possibly. I doubt it though. Yeah, 48 is the 2 sticks in this.
Hello there.
Hey, Swap, good to see you. Hammer Nails, 100%, man. 8 megabits of RAM. Do you remember the days? Like, it's certainly overkill, but it's to show what is possible in the sim. And it's you might be thinking, right, some of the biggest enhancements when it comes to getting performance out of your simulator, the speed of your hard drive, the speed of your internet, right, huge, right? CPU if you can, but your GPU makes a massive difference. The difference I had going from a 2080 Ti to a 3080 Ti was absolutely nuts. The difference from a 3080 Ti to a 4090, that was absolutely nuts. Like, it was nuts. The performance was just like, what? Do you know? And like, for flight sims, try not to be hunting down FPS. What you're looking for is smoothness. You don't want stutters, you just want the thing to be smooth. And this is pretty smooth. I mean, it's smooth, right? 5090 may not get much more performance. Yeah, well, the sim has to do work as well. Frame times over FPS, always. People think, oh look, but I'm getting 120 frames. Means nothing. Your frames per second isn't a direct correlation to how smooth the sim is operating in. And it's only when you're kind of tracking, well, how smooth is the sim? If you look at that scenery over the wing, if you don't see it kind of jittering or stuttering, it's running smooth. That's what you're after. And you can achieve that, lads, with as little as 30 FPS. You can achieve that on other systems. That's what you're going for. Just because you're looking at an FPS counter, you're thinking this is the best performance. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? So what you want to be doing when you're trying to configure your simulator, you're trying to get the smoothest possible, forget the frame rate, it's the smoothness. And if you can maintain the smoothness and then you start, horsing in all the additional eye candy, well, sure. But it's all about smoothness. That 5090, I'm expecting great things when it comes to VOR. That should just really push VOR, you know what I mean? Hey, Angle of Attack is here, good to see you. It does also help to undervolt the CPU, which helps eliminate throttling. Yeah, you could do that, Roy, yeah. I tend to leave things kind of as they are. The sim especially doesn't like any sort of overclocking, especially when it comes to RAM. It hates it. So, I can't deal with this, because it doesn't know where the limits are. So, and it comes up with stupid errors, you know what I mean? I even got my frame rate at 70 in both. Yeah. That's the way to do it. Your canard are showing. Willie, good to see you, buddy. It is. Overclocking causes more issues these days. Depends what you're overclocking. I mean, if you're overclocking and you're bringing up your fan control and you're making it cooler, or you undervolt it, it can actually be all right. You know, like a 2% undervolt on a GPU, no problem. You know, no problem. But no, I think, you know, when you're tinkering with your settings and you're trying to get the best possible performance, there's other things you can do if you wanted to get, you know, sharper graphics, right? So I use Reshade. Now, Reshade has always historically been a little bit heavy on your performance. I use Reshade, and what my Reshade does, right? And that's all on our Discord if you want to grab it. There's an awesome Reshade called Sealed Sky. I use that as kind of like the foundation, and I add a couple of things onto that. Very subtle shadows and sharpening. And then the other thing I do, I just get rid of that kind of, you can kind of see screen tear there. I get rid of that kind of, whatchamacallit, the kind of a sepia washed out, kind of a golden kind of a colour. And it just punches the saturation. And it puts a little bit of a blue tint in there. But for me, based on my eyes and what I can see on my TV, that's realistic. Gibbo now with that exposure composition has now, that's what I'm after. That's what I was looking for. Because they changed the lighting on this. Now it's working better, right? And it's the same inside the cockpit when you're looking, you know, it just gives it that little bit more depth, a bit more contrast, right? Darkens the shadows a bit. 1 day away from release. Hope the community supports Nick on this one. I think they will. It's an incredible airplane. Your RAM is 64 gig with XMP on. Yeah, 64 is perfect for flight sims. 32 is kind of like, if you have anything less than 32 gigs of RAM, you'd want to be looking at RAM. The sim pretty much wants 32 gigs. 64 helps. It really does. I mean, again, you know, we look at some of our settings here with our memory. It's utilizing, you know, 40% of that RAM. If I look at the video RAM, right? You know, what's she burning here? Dedicated GPU, shared GPU. So like it's using 14 gigs of virtual memory or video memory. 55%, that GPU, so that's the sim just not being, that's the simulator not being optimized. There's no other word for that. That GPU is sitting back at 50%. That's a 4090. That thing can really push, you know, and the CPU is sitting at 50%. And I'm getting, you know, 50 frames. But that should be able to really increase and get those frames up. But what it seems to be doing, and again, the sim isn't optimized, what it seems to be doing, it's giving me a smooth performance or smooth experience. That's better than any frame rate number, you know? If running multiple apps in the background, I wouldn't use less than 64 gig. Yeah, if you're using multiple stuff, yeah. RAM is an easy upgrade, easy to install, easy to config. Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, graphics cards are wildly expensive. CPU is major surgery. RAM and hard drives. Specifically if you can get like an M2 drive. The Samsung 990 Pro. Excellent bit of kit. Its read and write speeds are blistering. The difference that makes, it's unbelievable. That's your shader caches running, that's your sim loading. It's all of that, you know? It's pretty cool. Now, bring back up our Navigraph. Let's have a look at our destination. Runways to use. It's giving us runway 03. All right, 03. So we're going to be turning, let me see. When we get to the VOR, we're going to head outbound on the 180 radial, straight down, and then we'll circle into the right to land. That'll do. So let's get ourselves kind of ready for this one. Nav mode, please. VOR is locked, and we're going to go heading. And we're going to put this guy 180 degrees. I've got the 990 Pro M2. It's fast. Yeah, it is fast, man. It's real fast. It's ideal. Again, a lot has to be looked into. A lot has to be looked into now. Cloud gaming solutions. Still need to do something with that. Let's look at our radar control. Let's get the ground map. I'm not too worried about the weather just yet. So we'll put the ground in there. Let's see what happens. We're not worried about anything here for the moment anyway. Flight plan, we're direct to LRA, and then it's onto our airport. But yeah, lads, I cannot wait for you to experience the Starship. It is... Now, that frame rate just doesn't seem right. I can do something like this. Give it a second to reload. In you go, you big Jesse. On restage, you can do it. You can do it. Go on. And now back to full screen. Let's see what that did. Yeah, I tried Microsoft Flight Sim on the cloud. It was brutal. Yeah, some of them can be brutal. Yeah. Yeah, look, so there's a little fix that you can do. Like, we're back up to 90 frames now. So you might be wondering, what's that all about? Again, it's the sim. There's software stuff at play. If you find yourself, for some weird reason, you're not getting your normal kind of performance, yeah, a quick Alt-Enter, that automatically brings the sim into what's called window mode. Give it a few moments, bring it back into full screen, and it does something to your variable refresh rate or something. As you can see, look, the proof is in the pudding. We're at 90 frames now. So we've almost doubled our frame rate just by doing that. They have a lot of work to do when it comes to optimizing it. And it's still butter smooth, man. Any idea what time of day it'll be available? No idea. No idea. Idle cutoff. Sooner rather than later, though. I tried telling Spy about M2 Drive once. I think the poor beggar's still using a hard drive. Don't know how he manages. Well, Spy is on a budget. And it's got to be said, Dave puts out an amazing stream based on what he has, you know? But yeah, I mean, if you're on a budget, you're on a budget. We are 40 miles out. We're doing nice, lads. We're doing nice. Idle cutoff. Hang on. Idle cutoff. Are you Dave Cleary from YouTube? I can see your RAM utilization. Can you see my RAM utilization breakdown? Well, yeah, you can look at the processes, I suppose, and look at memory, right? So the sim is using most of it. Edge is always heavy on RAM, right? Discord is running in the background. That can be heavy. Elevatex is running. Navigraph, Koodle for GSX, StreamerBot, which I use. Navigraph, look at that. I use very little. And then so on and so on and so on. Like, there's a lot of processes running. Lots of processes. But the main one is the sim and Edge, you know? He really does. It isn't a criticism of him. He does a great job. No, he really does. Dave is awesome. Dave is awesome. Yeah, there you go, Lenny, yeah. No, Dave is lovely. Idle cutoff is Dave Cleary. I cannot fathom that. A legend, Dave. Legend idle cutoff. Doesn't have the same ring to it, Dave. But yeah, there you go. Idle cutoff. Dave Cleary from Cambridge. Fantastic. We're only finding this out now. Crazy. Man, look at all the wind farms here, look. Who's that? Where Vulcan is flying with us. Nice. Man, that's so good. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Look how smooth it is as well. The sim is purring today. Purring today. We're doing well. Really enjoyed my flight yesterday in X-Plane as well. It was nice, do you know? Alright. Engines are okay. Everything's doing what it should be. Let's go ahead and check this out. Temperatures and pressures are all grand. Right engine. Left engine. We haven't caused any further damage. That's great news. How's our fuel situation? We got a 1180 and 1180. Used fuel. So we used 835 pounds. We got 2,300 left. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So the weather radar on this airplane is actually located in the nose and not a wing. Some aircraft, you'll find them on the wing. They're just like a pod. Last time I travelled to my home country in Canada, I was blown away at the wind farms. Entire massive fields of them. Yeah. It's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, like the TBM, the PC-12, they all have the weather radar bolted onto the wing, which can be advantageous, but also not necessarily great for the opposite side.
Hello there.
Most aircraft will have it on the nose, you know? Is it now? Rui Alves, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Hope you're well. A very happy Wednesday. Yeah, I'm a little bit kind of...
Yep. We're going the wrong way.
We're not going the wrong way at all. Are we? No, we're not. We're good. We're good. Jamo, good to see you. We're going the wrong way. Who's in charge? Yeah, the tilt here. I'm not getting any radar information. That's good, isn't it? How is that happening now? The range? $100 out, maybe? Will she draw something? It tends to be precip. You know what I mean? Expo next week. Cannot wait. Jamo, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we're doing good, man. We're doing good. Busy morning. And I've been dying to fly this airplane once again. So we're back in the Starship for a nice little jaunt from Bilbao over to... sound out, Murphy. La Coruna. The ICAO code for where we're landing is Lima Echo Charlie Oscar. And all should be well in the realm. Also, I've another... I'm mad for Navigraph. Look, does this screen work? It does. So on this camera here, I have another Navigraph screen here, you see. And this is a touch screen, look. Ooh. So I track my flight in kind of multiple areas. That's what I do. Don't mind the back of me head now. You know, that's just... that's just the rendering. You know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, that's the little setup that we have. I have a button for that. RGB. Any predictions on Aerosoft's announcements? None yet. What do you reckon, really? What'll it be? Man alive, this is gorgeous. Isn't it only gorgeous? The weather and everything, look, man, it's stunning. Kilburn, beautiful flying, man. Now, has that made it a little bit too dark, lads, or is it all looking grand? With the owl exposure composition thingy. I can definitely see the details now. I'm really liking it. It has made it a fraction too dark. But I'm okay, like, we won't fall out with it. Do you know, I think it's, I think we're good. Looks good on your screen? Sweet, okay. Well, we better do, I suppose we better do one of these. You also have exposure function in reshade. Plane reach space? Well, I mean, you know, no, not really. But it looks like it could. you so very much for all the likes over on YouTube, lads. 26 this morning. You're very kind. A great bunch of lads. They do help out, you see. They recommend the stream to people, you know, waiting on a bus or something. Right, we are 3.5 nautical miles out. That's going to be a left turn. We're going to jump over to heading mode. Two and a half miles. Really good speed here as well. So it's a left turn. Let's double check our barrow pressure here as well. So once we get over this VOR, it's going to be a hard left down to 180 degrees. That'll bring us down towards the airport, and then it's going to be a sweeping right-hand turn in for a full-stop landing. So 1.3 nautical miles. There's the indicator moving. This arrow will go to the lower position. We're now directly over the VOR station. And then once we start moving away, here's our arrow telling us we're now moving away from it. We're going to go to heading mode. Aircraft is going to bank left. And there's no restrictions on the turn. We can put in half bank and, you know, comfort mode and all this. But not needed now. It does, Hadoken, it really does. You're flying the Duke for the whole trip, PH Roy. Nice. The autopilot doesn't enable. Trimming all the way. There's an autopilot master switch you need to turn on. It's the electronic trim should do it. Roger Shoemaker, good to see you. That would be awesome. With ion thrusters in the works, right? A couple of, like, you know, nacelles in there. It'll be class. Mrs. TPHI, good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're well. All right, Navigraph, let's have a look. So there's the airport. We're going to head on 180. We're going to pass the airport. And we'll come down to around here or so. Gives a couple of miles out. There's a lake. We'll use that as a visual reference point. And we'll turn at the lake and come back in. So while we're here, we can also now decide to reduce our altitude. We'll go for 4,000 feet. V speed. We'll give it 1,000 feet a minute. V speed has been engaged. Nose is going to dip down. We're going to ease off the power here a little bit, because we don't want that speed going too high up. There we go. As we do this, as we're descending, just so we don't pick up any kind of dirt or stuff, we're going to open back up our inertial separators here. You can have a look on the map or on the visualizer here. You can see the doors opening and close. That's what we want. And by doing so, it is going to give us a little bit of an increase in our in ITT and torque. But we're all right. So they're looking good. Prop sync at this stage. We're going to now bring that offline. Right, and go ahead and get our landing lights back into it. All right, we're looking good. It's a gorgeous airplane, but flying it, lads, that's the thing. Like, when this aircraft releases, when you fly it, you're going to say, yeah, 100%, 100%. So we were saying the lake as our visual reference point. That looks too small. I reckon it's that big one over there on the right hand side. Got a big power plant over here. So once we're down by that lake, we'll spin back in. Had to reinstall Windows at the weekend. I can't tell you how that action has fixed every little issue I had with the sim. Really? There you go. There you go. All right, 4,000 is called. We got 1,000 feet to go. Speed is coming down nicely. Just under 200 knots. We'll bring the speed down so we can, you know, calm it all down a bit. I didn't do any of our kind of pre-flight checks with the angle of attack shaker, the stall shaker and all that. They work beautifully on this thing. It's a very hard airplane to stall, because once it detects a stall, well, the yoke takes over and noses down until it regains speed. Three of the real world airline pilots that have had this pre-release absolutely love it. It's excellent, Dougal. It really is. Alright, so heading mode is holding. Altitude is going to hold us here now at 4,000 feet. Keep an eye out the window. That is a visual reference point. That's the lake. So what we're going to do here, once we level off, that speed will continue to drop. At this range, we're going to do a right turn over to 270 degrees. Alright. That'll do it.
Yeah.
We're going the wrong way. Oh, we're going good. We're going good. So there's the lake we were looking for. A little bit bumpy here. Not getting any terrain information. Let's go back one. Ground map. There's our tilt working. That's awesome that that's simulated. So that's literally the radar tilting, looking down, right? More cowbell Cody, good to see you, buddy. Wonder how much all those CRTs weighed. Yes, shocking, right? The screens, like. Now let's quick check on our cabin temperatures. We're good across the board. All right, that's good for us. Electrical system is working well. Engines are behaving, and our speed is just coming down nice and easy. And we're gonna start another turn here now shortly. Just go over the nose here. There's the lake, right? There's the airport. So we can hand fly this one in. So what we're going to do, we're going to deactivate the autopilot. Click of a switch. Autopilot off. I'm going to remove the headphones so we can really hear that beautiful aircraft sound, right? Now our prop is looking okay. Tilt is okay. We'll keep it at -1 because that'll show when we dip the nose down where it's going to come in, right? Alright, so we're going to start a sweeping turn here to the right. And as we dip down the nose, see that radar lighting up? That's because the nose of the airplane is going down. That radar, it's now looking more on the ground, yeah? So we'll bring the tilt back to 0 for this one. There we go. And where the runway is, bit of a sharpish turn. Speed is good. Alright, we're going to bring the yaw dampener offline. About 140. That's just the gear warning. There's a runway. Easy now, Jemima. Radar altitude, that'll mix in with our decision height as well. This time next week, Rodney. Adam Controls, good to see you, buddy. This time next week. Right, this time next week we're wheels up out of Shannon. Yup, out with that. Alright, power coming back. Into idle. And we need to help the airplane slow down, so drop the gear and let's get that flap out. It'll drop some speed for us. Lights are on. Man, look at this approach. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Really hear the outside air hit off the aircraft now. So much drag there, right? Schutz used to have a 36-inch CRT monitor. That would have been heavy. Okay, radar altitude taking over. Speed is coming down. All that drag is there. Oh, lads, isn't that absolutely stunning looking? Okay, easy does it. Bit of power back in. Try to maintain this approach speed. We're on the glide path. Pappy seem happy with us. Watch the speed. Let's start increasing some of that prop. Good. Alright, gear down, flap set, prop full. Continue in. Watch your speed. Back onto the glide. Yeah, I heard that 777. Golden Age simulations are calling it a day, man. Sad news. I mean, they've made some beautiful airplanes. That tri-motor and the what else did they do? They did the Cub. Didn't they do another one as well? Didn't they do the Boeing Stearman? Little bit fast on approach, but we're okay. We should have plenty of room here to fix this. Looking good. Eight knots of wind. We're fine. Runway 3, straight in. Alright, start bleeding off the speed. Easy does it, easy does it, easy does it. Gently down. Wait for contact. Down you get. There's contact. Into beta. Keep it on the straight and narrow. There's decel under 100 knots. Man, look at that canard flapping like a divillet. Look. Just over there, man. That's awesome. Alright, there's an 80 knots. Let's go for a little bit of manual braking here. Oh, the sounds are so good, aren't they? Alright, we're going to back taxi. Getting that canard back in. Oh, wait, hang on. Can we exit here? I think we can.
Hello there.
Hello there. I think we can, no, we got a back taxi. Interesting. Who be this? Seacrest, welcome in. Thank you for the follow, dude. Good to see you. Alright, take your time. Nice and easy. Here's us spun round. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Flies like a dream. Really does, man. Really does. Alrighty. Keep an eye on our temperatures now. We'll want to shut this machine down relatively early. As we back taxi here. Keep the speed up. And we can exercise the beta. I think we got a maximum of 60 seconds with that beta on. Anything more, it just doesn't like it at all. Looking good. See our brake temperature here as well. Looks good so far. Alright, we'll vacate the active. Nice airport. Alright. Great flying of the F-16. Bellbro, great job. Retro prop was there as well. Beautiful. There's Kilburn. Idle cutoff inbound. And we'll, there's a gate there. I don't want to go with the gate. We'll go down with the owl, down with the hangar down here. We got plenty of parking options. So long since I flew the F-16. Nice. I don't know, is this a sim default airport or it's custom? I cannot remember. Easy now. $13, I'm looking for some. ourselves around. It's a nice airport, this, isn't it? Alright, that'll do it there. Park and brake. Brakes are set. On a pair, taxi light coming off. Wings are okay. Anti-collisions go to low. All looking good there. Alright, come into our main system. So, temperature starting to creep up on us. Disappear you for the moment. And let's continue on with what we're going to do. So we need to shut down the machine. We're going to go into ground idle. Auto feather coming off. And what else can we do here? Gens, we're with those in a moment. We will get our main avionics turned off. Transponder, go ahead and bring you off. That looks good to me. We can also go ahead and bring our avionics off. That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. Inertial separators, we'll turn those off as well. And when it comes to our power, that looks pretty good. Right side coming offline. And we keep that blower on there as well. Props back. And feather. And that, friends, was a beautiful flight. Beautiful. Generators left and right coming offline. There goes our power. And we have our standby instruments still on. And some of our batteries still on. Go ahead and cancel. This is all turned off. That's all turned off. So we will go standby instruments off. Blower off. And battery off. All right. Quick look in here. Yeah, all the fans are off. We're just on the ground there now. We can go ahead and get the wheel chocks in. Go ahead and open the main cabin door. All right. I'm stupid, you know. Good to see you, man. Thank you for the follow. Nice. Idle cut off in the Piaggio. Nice plane. Nice plane. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, lads. Really enjoyed that. Such a great airplane, isn't it? It's just so very good. I cannot wait for you guys to be flying this tomorrow. And you will be flying it tomorrow. It's that aircraft, you're just going to grab it and say, yes. Where have you been? You know? Bit of LOD there, actually, with the door. It's just a super duper machine. Gorgeous, isn't it? Gorgeous. So, let's have a quick look in here. Make sure everything then is locked up. Burned a good bit of fuel there, didn't we? What's the sound am I listening to? Oh, we're okay. Electrical system. Hot battery bus. Cabin entry lights. Battery master is off. We're drawing power from somewhere. I think that switch is going to be controlled from just behind the door here. So we can say cockpit light. Yeah, that was that one. That'll show now all the lights off. So why is that bus on? That's interesting. Let's see. Close off the oxygen. Bleeds off. Blowers off. Get the AC off. Anti-skid off. Gen ties. They're all off. That's weird. Where are we getting power from? Is that just the battery connected, I wonder? Maybe. Yeah. Interesting. Right, lads, there we have it. Our first flight for today. I have to run off now and do official things. However, the sound, yeah, system's cooling down, avionics, yeah, all the gyros and stuff spinning down. Kilburn is out for the ramble. We're back later on this evening, lads. On our news show tonight, we're going to be chatting to Brian from Say Intentions. We have Jonks from Got Friends. We're also going to be checking out the new Alpha Jet, just released there the last couple of days. And of course, cover all our news. And we'll have a chat about Flight Sim Expo as well, because, well, this day next week, myself and Gibbo arrive to Flight Sim Expo. It's a coffee machine. Oh, is it? Interesting. But anyway, lads, I hope you like this stream. The Starship, I hope you've now seen enough of it to, you know, make up your mind if you're happy enough to purchase it, or maybe sit it out. Entirely up to you. I think anyone who might be a little bit nervous about it, right, worried about all the buttons and whatnot, well, you know, you can turn all that stuff off when it comes to consequence for damage or any of that stuff. You have those sort of options, do you know? But yeah, loads of fun, beautiful flight. Didn't like the stream. I loved it. Awesome stuff. All right, lads, listen, thank you so very, very much indeed for tuning in and keeping me company. And we'll see you in about 6 hours, give or take, when we're back this evening from 1900 Zulu time for the news. All right, so until then, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you later.
Few men even consider the possibility of life on other planets. Yet, across the Gulf...
Jesus! What was that? I was about to say something and you hit me in the head! Christ! Hang on! I found more of these flamingos! Jesus!
It's all right.
Hey, Rambog is here. Good to see you, man. Did I miss anyone else? Oh, Jesus, watch what you're doing, Murphy. I know! The dreaded chat! I know! See what happens? Did you see it? Collider is here. Think about it now, right? I'll sing it for you. Everybody's looking at my tight pants. He's got his tight pants. He's got his tight pants on. I'm actually not wearing tight pants at all. No, they're loosey-gooseys. Do you know, they're the in-house joggings or yoggings. I think it's a soft J. They're the in-house yoggings. Dublin. Pascal Sheehy, RTE. Is Pascal Sheehy still doing the news? Oh, there's Gibbo, look! He almost turned it over. Gibbo, you nearly rolled it.
Yeah, baby.
Did you just say that? He nearly rolled the trailer coming in. Hilarious.
Cheers, Gibbo.